Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaimudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Ruttama Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanandam Shalakaya Chakshudam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatyadesh Karini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Verse 4. Tamanvagachan Drutavikramam Satim Ekam Trinetranuchara Sahasrashaha Saparshada Yaksha Maniman Madadayaha Puro Vrishendrastarasagatapyataha. And they saw Sati leaving alone very rapidly. Thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Mada, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the Yakshas. Sati was going very fast so that she might not be checked by her husband, but she was immediately followed by the many thousands of disciples of Lord Shiva, headed by the Yakshas, Maniman, and Mada. The word Gatavyataha used in this connection means without fear. Sati did not care that she was going alone. Therefore, she was almost fearless. The word Anucharaha is also significant, for it indicates that Lord Shiva's disciples were always ready to sacrifice anything for Lord Shiva. All of them could understand the desire of Shiva, who did not want Sati to go alone. Anuchara means those who can immediately understand the purpose of their master. So this is very important. Yeah. Actually, though contextually here, this without fear was somewhat material in the sense because Sati wanted to see her family, her parents, relatives, etc. She didn't care for anything. She didn't care that she was going alone. She was almost fearless. But this quality of being fearless is important for devotees. Um, so one who is surrendered to the Lord is fearless. Otherwise, generally, people in this material world are full of anxiety about the future. Uh, Lamenting for the past, anxious about the future. But the devotees of the Lord are fearless. In fact, Prabhupada elsewhere says that actual fear is because of not knowing the future, not just of this life, but of future life also. But for a devotee, he is fearless because not only this life, but also future life. He knows that he is under the protection of Krishna. So we must uh, walk this path of bhakti, being fearless about whatever is going to come, whatever we have to encounter. Generally, when things are all okay, going fine as per one's expectations, everything seems great, bhakti is great. Okay, we are not doing bhakti so seriously, it's okay, everything is being taken care. But when things shake, shake up a little in our life, when some unexpected things happen in life, then the real test of our bhakti comes into play. Um, so yesterday, went to one devotee's house. Uh, Devotee's son had passed away at a very early age. And inevitably, yeah, I mean, there is always distress when somebody leaves the body. But lot of devotees were actually crying. So this is, I mean, it's not necessarily the right platform of devotion because um, Why are we crying? For whom are we crying? Mm, yeah, parents understandable. Mm, but other devotees who I saw that they were not very close to that person who had left his body, but still they were crying. So which means when distress happens, when we are to face distress, then our real, what we really are is tested. So when there are difficult situations, fearful situations, dangers, how do we face them? Those are the small tests that we have to actually go through in life before the final test, final exam, mm, death. So one has to be fearless. Why? Because Krishna is there with us. Vakshishati Vishwasa. He's going to protect us. Protect us means what? He's not going to protect this body. What is the use of protecting this body anyway? He's going to protect our soul. He's going to protect us, the soul, and he's going to protect our bhakti, which is most important. Because whatever we've got in this material world will remain or go as per our karma phala or as per Krishna's desire. That is mm, not the most important thing. Yeah, well, it's important from just yeah. In one sense, status quo is good. Material uh, ups and downs, if they are not there in one's life, it's good. They can focus on bhakti. But many times, because material ups and downs are not there, people become complacent about bhakti. So anyway, there are so many things to be considered, but ultimately one has to be fearless in the face of this earth. This is the first important point. Second important point is anucharaha. The two important points Prabhupada is making here about disciples. Uh, always ready to sacrifice anything for the master. And those who can immediately understand the purpose of their master. So two things. Disciples means we should understand the purpose of our guru, and we should be ready to sacrifice anything for the guru. Mm, That is a perfect disciple in the right mood. So immediately understand the purpose of the guru means, as we have been highlighting repeatedly, happens only through Shravanam. Only through Shravanam one can understand another person. Repeated Shravanam. Very complex, very difficult to understand anybody. But because Guru very mercifully, uh, explicitly expresses his desire, uh, his instructions are given. So by hearing those repeatedly and trying to follow them, one gets mercy to be able to understand the purpose of the Guru and then thereby be ready to sacrifice anything for the pleasure of the Guru. But without Shravanam, it's all mental speculation. If you have not heard from the Guru, then it's all mental speculation. Then we'll just think that no, this is what he wants. Right. So Shravanam is the key. Shravanam is the key. And Shravanam should end us up in a state where we are ready to sacrifice anything. Anything. Literally. Prabhupada is saying anything. This is Anuchara. Anuchara means follower. So he knows the purpose of the Guru and is ready to do anything for him. This is the state of full surrender. And when Krishna says Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja, it actually means Sarvadharman Parityaja, surrender to my representative. Because we can't directly surrender to Krishna because we don't know what to do or what not to do. So we have to surrender to the representative of Krishna, who is the Guru. And surrender means, I've been telling this multiple times repeatedly, golden instructions from Srila Prabhupada. Giving up independence. Surrender to Guru. Daksha means giving up independence. So this is important. And Lord Shiva's disciples here are showing that they are actually real anucharas. Verse 5. Tam Sharika Kanduka Darpanambuja Shweta Tapatra Vyajana Srag Adibihi Gitayanair Dundubi Shankavenubir Vishendram Aropya Vitankita Yayuhu. Disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment, and covered her with a great canopy. Followed by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bugles, the entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade. Abrahma Ghoshorjita Yagnavaishasam Viprarshi Vibudhaishta Sarvashah Vriddarvayah Kanchanadarbhacharmabhir Nisrishtabhandam Yajanam Samavishat. He then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals, as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. When learned sages and Brahmanas assembled to chant Vedic mantras, some of them also engaged in arguing about the conclusion of the scriptures. Thus, some of the sages and Brahmanas were arguing, some of them were chanting the Vedic mantras, so the entire atmosphere was surcharged with transcendental sound vibration. This transcendental sound vibration has been simplified in the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this age, no one is expected to be highly educated in the Vedic ways of understanding because people are very low, slow, lazy, and unfortunate. Mandas, Mandamatayo, Mandavagya, Upadritaha. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended the sound of vibration Hare Krishna. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, it is also recommended Yajna Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. At the present moment, it is impossible to gather sacrificial necessities because of the poverty of the population and their lack of knowledge in Vedic mantras. Yeah, poverty of population because we cannot provide for yagnas. Therefore, for this age, it is recommended that people gather together and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is accompanied by his associates. So this is what we all have to try and do. Wherever we are, we should simply gather people, get them to chant Hare Krishna, give them prasadam. Right? So this is the process of bhakti that is recommended for this age and time. It may be that not everybody wants to come to the temple. We go to them. We go to their houses. Like I've already said before, this whole concept of Bhakti Sadhan that we are implementing as part of ISKCON Sheshadripuram from the temple. So this is the instruction of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. So people don't come to the temple. So we've gone and we are trying to open centers in various parts of the city. Every ward we want to have a center. Why every ward? Every house we should have a center. So at least in all the big apartment complexes, we should have one center each. Right? Any big complex, because people don't want to come out of their complex. No problem. We'll go to their complex and we'll set up place and time where people can come together, chant Hare Krishna, and satisfy the Supreme Lord. And we'll also give them prasadam and give them little matter for Shravanam. This is what is required. This is the recommended process. Now, how difficult is it for all of us here on this group and everybody outside to just organize a program? We are not saying that everybody can do a program, conduct a program. If you can, then very good. Please go ahead. If you need any help, assistance, please let us know. We are more than happy to do whatever we can in whatever way we can help. But at least you can organize a program. You can organize a program, get people together. They don't want to come out of the apartment, no problem. We'll do it we will go to them, right? Set up time, place, and whatever help is required from our side, which indirectly means that we will get the required support from our temple. We will do the needful, right? But at least to be part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we should at least be instrumental in setting up these programs, arranging these programs at least, if not conducting them. Indirectly, this indicates Lord Chaitanya, who is accompanied by his associates Nityananda, Advaita, and others. This is the process of performing yajna in this age. So we can say weekly yajna. Mm. Like, one another so-called spiritual institution, uh, literally impersonalists, so they say Gita yajna. So we'll also say Sankirtana yajna, the weekly yajna. Mm. Really, this is the yajna for happiness. Mm. You can say yajna for happiness. Uh, Whatever we want to call, right? But ultimately, we have to give them Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we have to give them prasadam, we have to give them Krishna. That's all. Another significant point in this verse is that there were animals for sacrifice. That these animals were meant for sacrifice does not mean that they were meant to be killed. Great sages and realized souls assembled were performing yagnas, and the realization was tested by animal sacrifice. Just as in modern science, tests are made on animals to determine the effectiveness of a particular medicine. The Brahmanas interested with the performance of yagna were very realized souls, and to test their realization, an old animal was offered in the fire and rejuvenated. That was the test of a Vedic mantra. The animals gathered were not meant to be killed and eaten. The real purpose of a sacrifice was not to replace a slaughterhouse, but to test a Vedic mantra by giving an animal new life. Animals were used to test the power of Vedic mantras, not for meat. Mm. Anyway, this is another big challenge. People are so much addicted to meat eating. So the only solution is bring people together, get them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, give them prasadam. Repeatedly, when this happens, they automatically they get purified. Mm. Now I mean, there's so many examples. Very recently, last yatra, some new people joined us on the yatra, and yeah, the Mataji was eating meat, and a few classes in the train, and then on the during the yatra. By the time she came back, she had become a vegetarian, and she stopped eating meat. And then very recently, she was complaining to me, My family all eats meat." I said, "You were also doing the same thing few days back, just few days back." I said, "No, no, now I don't feel like eating." So just the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, association of devotees, Shravanam, very powerful. But it has to be done with intensity. Many times devotees ask saying that why do people not change? And people not don't change because they're not given a intense Krishna conscious experience. Because we are afraid. We should give them intense, like powerful kirtan. We should make them part of powerful kirtan. Powerful means just pure. That's all. Not instruments. Uh, like nowadays, it's become like a fashion to use this. What is that African instrument? The Dujumbe or whatever it's called. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our Kirtan standards, His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj has given. Nah, all these instruments are not allowed at all. We simply have to do Mridanga and Kartal, that's all, and Wampers, that's all, bigger Kartals. That's all, that's it. That is our Kirtan standard. Mm. In fact, even Prabhupada said that one should not even use harmonium for Hare Krishna Mahamantra, only for bhajans. Definitely not all these mode of passion instruments. They are not recommended for. One Rath Yatra I attended, and they were playing that this Domrata, like this Devi worshippers. They do some procession and then that drum, which basically for people in the mode of ignorance. That was being played along with the Rath. I said, what has happened to us? We are degrading. This is not our standard. Chant Hare Krishna means simply Hare Krishna Mahamantra, simple tune for everybody to be able to follow. Kartal, Mridanga, that's it. And Wampers, like I said, that's it. If you want more accompaniment, we can ask people to clap hands. That's all that is required. In fact, by clapping hands, Shastra says that, all the sins fly away from the person. So simple process, we don't have to make it complex. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to bring new modern inventions into Kirtan. Because this is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada not, again, I keep reiterating this, not more than 50 years back, not 500 years back that we think, no, no, it's not applicable. Now we are become uh, more advanced, so we're going to decide our own ways of doing Kirtan. And no. Mm. See, these what we call allowances are given just for those neophytes, only for neophytes. But that cannot become a norm. That should not become the norm for kirtan. Yeah, somebody wants to play some instrument, otherwise you'll go away from bhakti. Okay, once in a while something can be given, but it cannot become like a part of our arrangement of instruments. Organized, we shouldn't be doing organized deviation. Anyway, so the point is that we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and give this opportunity to everybody. So all of us should become part of this mercy distribution process, social work, as Prabhupada called it. And like I said, we are happy to be uh, doing whatever. If you want us to come and give classes, of course there are so many preachers we can arrange. We can create a team of preachers who can come, because yeah, practically not all programs can be, I mean, one human being has limitation in terms of how much he or she can do. But there are so many other devotees also who can be invited, requested to help us out, etc., etc. But the impetus is with all of us to arrange programs, right? Go out and arrange programs. Or if there's a center nearby, temple nearby, invite them there. If not, if they're not willing, we will go there. It's not very difficult. Just 1 hour in a week. How difficult is it to organize that? Right? And prasadam is not a problem at all. We have full support from our temple. We'll provide for prasadam. Um, right? But it requires a little bit initiative from your side to go and speak to people, saying that this is what it is. It's a yagna for happiness. Please give us 1 hour so that we will bring happiness to your apartment complex, to your society, whatever it is, right? So please try. Okay, Veda bases become slow. Okay, we'll read this. Kamagatam tatra na kashtanadriyat adriyad vimanitam yagna kruto bhayajanaha ritesvasr vai jananim chasadaraha premashru kantaya parishasvajur muda. When Sati with her followers reached the arena, because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha, none of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who with tears in their eyes and with glad faces welcomed her and talked with her very pleasingly. So except the mothers and sisters, nobody else talked to her. Mothers and sisters of Sati could not follow the others who did not receive Sati very well. Due to natural affection, they immediately embraced her with tears in their eyes and with loving feelings. This shows that women as a class are very soft-hearted. The natural affection and love cannot be checked by artificial means. Although the men present were very learned brahmanas and demigods, they were afraid of their superior Daksha, and because they knew that their welcoming Sati would displease him, although in their minds they wanted to receive her, they could not do so. Women are naturally soft-hearted, but men are sometimes very hard-hearted. Uh, uh, yeah. So, which is good and bad. Being soft-hearted, it is good because it's easier for women to come to bhakti, and after that, a little bit of the emotion should get, uh, it should be directed based on Shastra. Men are hard-hearted, so it's very difficult to get men to Krishna consciousness. And learned brahmanas and demigods, learned, they're learned, but they're afraid. Why are they afraid? Because they are afraid, because they're bodily consciousness. Uh, Prabhupada and his disciples, right? They showed in so many trying circumstances that they were just not afraid. They were not bowing their heads to anybody. I mean, they were jailed, they were beaten, they were tortured. No, they only just gone with the promotion, propagation of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Vaishnavas are afraid, and are not afraid, are fearless. they're ready to they're ready to do anything to please the Lord. Um, um, yeah, so these are some of the things. सौदर्य संप्रश्न समर्थ वार्तया मात्रा च मात्र वसृभिश्च सादरम दत्तां सपर्यां Varamasanam cha sa nadatta pitra pratinandita sati. Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception, and although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything, for her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare. Sati did not accept the greetings offered by her sisters and mother, for she was not at all satisfied by her father's silence. Sati was the youngest child of Daksha, and she knew that she was his pet. But now, because of her association with Lord Shiva, Daksha forgot all his affection for his daughter, and this very much aggrieved her. See, this also we can understand. Yeah, bodily conception, material bodily conception is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. I'm sure all of us would have experienced this. Mm. You would have seen people changing colors, turning colors. They're very nice to us. Suddenly, they're not so nice to us. Why? Because of some provocation, some slight provocation. Bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a bodily relationship, at slight provocation terminates this intimacy, right? So this is because of the material bodily conception, polluted. So people are all materially uh, motivated. So slight provocation changes the equations. At least this should not be the case amongst devotees. But still, because there are so many devotees who are still practicing bhakti in the lower modes, material bodily conception is still there. So we see so many complications even amongst devotees. We should be avoided. I mean, Prabhupada always said there are going to be differences, but still you cooperate with each other. Differences opinion always there. I mean, because we are all individuals. We're not some stereotype robots, machines. Yeah, so suppose say we have to do one thing, yeah, different people can have different views, opinions about how to do that. As long as they're all authentic, it's okay to have differences in opinion. But and that is the reason why spiritual in a spiritual uh, society there is a need for qualified leaders, so that eventually everybody bows down to the qualified leaders, because there might be other considerations and more important considerations that get considered, and a certain path or route is chosen, right? Just because our recommendation was shot down, it doesn't mean that we stop cooperating. No, we cooperate. It's okay. We are not here to win personally. We are here to please Krishna. And if all the devotees are sincere and following Guru Sadhu Shastra, then it's required that everybody cooperates and works together. But we've seen slight provocation, something is all too much on the bodily conception creates a lot of problems. And not being open, not being uh, straightforward, not being transparent, these things create a lot of issues in relationships between devotees. Mm. We are supposed to develop love for Krishna. How can we develop love for Krishna if we cannot develop love for his devotees? Mm. We cannot develop love for other devotees if we are polluted. Polluted material bodily conception. So eventually, all of us have to get to this state where we have to have feeling of love towards all devotees on the spiritual platform, right? But that requires that we become completely free from all material contamination. And for which again the solution is Tivra Bhakti, chanting, reading, hearing, associating with pure devotees, serving exalted devotees. This is the only way. Okay, let me stop here if anybody has any questions, comments, anything. Okay, we'll close. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, before I end, Nayak Prabhu and Shushma Mataji, if you can just Message your phone numbers. I don't have your contact. I know all others on this group, except you two. If you could please send your numbers. Nayak Prabhu, I've been talking to you, hearing, I mean, your questions, etc. But I don't have personal contact with you. So if you could just leave your message right now in the
Sure.
chat here. I
Yeah,
can,
sure, Prabhuji. I will
yeah,
message you directly.
yeah. Or if you have my number, you can message me. And also
Yeah,
Sushma
sure.
Mataji, I don't know you, so I might want to just speak to you once.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just messaging my number if you don't have it on the chat here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
She is my sister, the one who was coming from BTM.
Oh, Shushma Mataji. Okay. So because I didn't. Okay, fine. You can just send me her number anyway, Mataji. I'll add her to the. So is she part of the English? Is she
Yes,
part of the
Prabhu.
English study group?
Yes, she is already
Okay.
part of.
Okay, fine. And Nayak Prabhu, are you also part of the study group?